Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm your host for today. I'm Zubia Alvi and I work as an associate consultant at T Systems and I'm also the part of PSF. It's a pleasure and honor to welcome you all. Just for you to get an idea of the structure of our program today. We shall have a Quran recitation followed by the introduction of PSF. After that, we shall have a core session and then a Q&A. Tilawat Quran, I would like to call upon Mr. Rubaid. He is a PSF associate and work as front-end developer. Over to you, Ubaid bhai.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعد الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. Believers, avoid making too many assumptions. Some assumptions are sinful and do not spy on one another or speak ill of people behind their backs. Would any of you like to eat the flesh of your dead brother? No, you would hate it. So be mindful of God. God is ever relenting and most merciful. O mankind, we created you from a single pair of a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, that ye may know each other, not that ye may despise each other. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is he who is the most righteous of you, and Allah has full knowledge and is well acquainted with all things. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair for such a beautiful recitation. May Allah reward your efforts. Amin. Now, to give you all who are joining us for the first time an idea about Professional Solidarity Forum, what it is, what it does, and what vision it has, I would like to call upon Ms. Nilofar Ansari. She is a senior SAP consultant with more than 12 years of experience working with MNCs. She shall also inform us as to how you can be a part of PSF, inshallah. The mic is yours, Nilofar ma'am.
Thank you, Zubia. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Walaikum assalam.
We will quickly walk through the introduction of PSF. So we are a registered organization with a group of professionals from both IT and non-IT domain. Our primary objective is to provide a platform that can assist the professionals to enhance their skills and creativity for development of self and bring a positive change in the society. PSF was established in 2017 with a handful of professionals and today we have around 400 plus members with us. Our aim is to foster personal growth while simultaneously contributing to the betterment of society. Our organization structure looks like this. We have city president, city vice president, core team, members, and associates. The roles and responsibilities of city president and vice president is to lead the plan, budget the activities, and delegate execution of plan to the concerned members and provide leadership. The core team conceptualize the activity and own the execution of tasks. Members actively participate and contribute their time and skill. They are involved in promotion of the events. Associates are the passive participants who are involved in the activities just like the members. The contributions from the city president, vice president, and core team is 500 monthly. Members contribute rupees 300 a month. An associate can voluntarily donate as they wish. So we focus on three broad areas: service to professionals, networking and community building, core social services. Let's check about them in the next slide. Under service to professionals, we have these four areas. We aim to empower individuals by exposing them to emerging technologies and skill set that can assist them with personal growth and career development. In Masterclass, we arrange a 1 to 2 hourly monthly session that focuses on technical topics. We do have short 2 to 3 month online program to help individuals become job ready. Under Mentor Mentee, we have a structured program where an experienced mentor will provide guidance and support to the mentee to overcome the challenges that she or he faces. We had course tie-ups in the past with training institutes. So if any one of you is interested, they can contact the admin and get more information on that. Under networking, we have community engagement, get-togethers, dinner meets, family connect. We arrange sessions on psychological well-being, financial literacy, leadership, and current affairs. They equip individuals to build resilience and improve the quality of their life. We do have a half-yearly get-together, dinner meets, and family connects. This involves engaging with members, facilitating interaction, and creating opportunities for connection and collaboration. We have two flagship projects under core social services, Kafalat and Neki Basket. Let's check more about them. We believe that every child has the right to education. Project Kafalat aims to help needy students by providing them with education support. In academic year 2024-25, we have sponsored 272 students in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai and suburban areas with an amount of almost 27 lakhs. So as visible in this slide, our progress is trending upward, demonstrating the positive impact of our initiative, Alhamdulillah. Let's look at how does this works. It is a very transparent process. We do a strict scrutiny of background of the candidate to get assurity if he really deserves to be helped. The donor can select a child from the website, choose the amount to donate, and the amount is directly handed over to the school. We keep a track of the progress of the child, and all the information is shared with the donor as and when required. Moreover, you get a tax benefit as your donations are exempted under 80G of income tax. With the belief that no one should be deprived of the basic meal, we started the concept of Neki Basket. It is a beautiful Turkish concept of Neki Ki Tokri. This provides provides a means of combating hunger and malnutrition in the society. So we carry out a distribution in Jogeshwari, Ambujwadi, Malad, Malwani. Total packets distributed since inception is 33,000 plus. We serve 10 meals per month and there are approximately 100 packets per meal. 170 plus families are benefited from this initiative. The process remains the same as Kafalat. Check our website, app, check that the cause and donation amount that you want to donate, and you get a receipt of the donation, and all the donations are exempted under Section 80G of income tax. You can note down the URL and contact number displayed on the website. It's www.psfmumbai.org, educatechild.in, nakibasket.org, and the contact number of admin is 8828 916 727. Also, this platform is open for students in their final year. This will provide them with immense opportunities to network with experienced professionals and familiarize them with great ideas. Before I conclude, I request all of you on behalf of PSF to come forward and join us and bring in more professionals in your network to collaborate so that we have more helping hands. Contribute in whatever means you can. Being Muslims, it must make us feel obligated to return favors, reciprocate kindness, and show empathy. So let's put a collective effort to build a stronger connection and form a society that has a sense of responsibility, works towards a common purpose, is spiritually strong, and surrenders to the will of Allah. With this, I conclude and hand over to Zubia. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair, Nilofer ma'am. So if you have any further questions regarding PSF, feel free to reach out to the admin of the WhatsApp group and the team shall clarify all your doubts, inshallah. So moving forward to our masterclass, it's my pleasure to welcome our speaker for today's session, Mr. Kashif Sundrani. He's a vice president of an IT firm skilled in IT project management, process improvement, process automation, team leadership, and SEBI regulations. An honor to have you with us today. For the participants, you can drop your comments, questions in the chat box or raise your hand and engage as much as you can to make this session interactive and fruitful for you and others. Your question will be addressed now or at the end, whichever will be suitable for the speaker. So the stage is yours, Kashif sir.
Thank you, Zubia, for the introduction. I'll just start the section. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وبنستعين وخيره ناصر مبين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Okay, so Zubia has already introduced me, but just to give some more clarity that I am working with a financial firm which is heavily regulated by SEBI. You must be knowing SEBI, okay, which actually regulates all the financial firms in India, like RBI regulates the banks basically. Okay, so I head the technology team here, okay, and work in multiple domains like mm, uh, cloud operations, cloud security, uh, virtualization, robotic process automation, business analytics, business intelligence. Also we also started working on some of the use cases of the artificial intelligence. So yeah, just I'll try to now start with my topic, which is zero trust. I am not sure how much of from this participant list here uh, is aware about the sort of zero trust. I'm sure that you all must be from the tech background who all have joined. So while floating the details of the webinar, I had also tried to made clear the expectation and also what has to be the minimum, knowledge base of the participants. Uh, Having said this, still, if after the session anybody is not able to catch up, uh, feel free to ask me questions. Not only now, but even after the session, I'll just put my contact details, and you all can definitely, contact me, and then I can take it further with you separately. So, before starting my presentation, first of all, I apologize. I wanted to do a poll in Kahoot, but somehow I was not able to prepare it uh, to start this presentation. Having said this, it's absolutely okay. I have just created it in Word. So, the purpose of doing this poll is to just, understand that what is the sort of knowledge base of the participants. So, don't underestimate yourself, and I mean, try to give the answer to the best of your ability. Even if your answer is wrong, don't worry. I'll try to clarify all those queries during my presentation. So I'll just share my screen. Okay. So you are able to see the screen, the Word file. I hope am I audible to
Yes,
everyone?
it's visible. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're audible.
Okay. So what you all have to do is basically is you all have to put your answers in the poll, okay, in the chat. And after you all put the answers, I'll just unhide the correct answer. So the first question is, what does the principle never trust, always verify imply in zero trust? Is it A, trust internal user by default? B, authenticate only once per session? C, continuously validate every access request? D, allow access being based on location? So just put your answers in the chat. Okay, great. So we have around 27 participants. Have got the reply only from 9 or 10. Would expect answers from more. Very good. Alhamdulillah, getting some more answers. Good. Okay. Yeah. So correct answer is C. So how is that correct answer? I mean, when we go into the session, you will come to know during the session. Question number two, which of the following is not a pillar of zero trust architecture? Choices are A, identity, B, network, C, firewall, D, application. So now question number two. Very good, getting some more reply. Good. Still, some people have not replied. Reply even if you are not aware, just guess your answers. It's absolutely okay. Okay, so the correct answer is C. It's firewall. Most of them have I mean, from the participants have mentioned D. Some of them have also chosen C. So I'll come to that point why C is the correct answer. Question number three. What is main goal of zero trust security? The choices are to eliminate need for encryption, to secure only on-premises infrastructure, to reduce attack surface and limit the lateral movement, to simplify user onboarding. What is the correct answer? Very good. Fantastic reply. Come on. Still, some guys have not participated. Please do participate. Only 11 have replied. We have 30 participants. Moving to question number 4. What statement best describes zero trust implementation choice? A, it's a product you can buy. B, it's a one-time configuration. C, it's a continuous journey involving multiple layers. D, it only applies to cloud environment. So I just forgot to, yeah, the correct answer for poll 3 is C, to reduce attack surface and limit lateral movement. What is the answer for poll 4? I mean, question 4. Okay. Yeah, so C is the correct answer. Fantastic. So I think that based on the answers which I am getting from you all, I can understand a level of zero trust in the participants, basically. Okay, so great. There are only 4 questions. So I'll now jump directly to the presentation. Give me a second. Okay, so you all are able to see the slide?
Yes, yes. Slide is visible.
Okay. So the overall idea, I'll just give you a sort of agenda of this presentation. So I will be, covering only 1 or 2 slides specifically on the definitions part. Okay, and my more focus would be on the use cases and the practical steps which we have taken in our organization, and probably you also can definitely work on that in your organization if your profile has the sort of offerings to you, basically. Okay, and this would also be a learning for you uh, end of the session. So you will be able to understand different use cases which you could implement or zero trust. Second, I'll also highlight you with the challenges which we faced while implementing the zero trust architecture into an organization, and how did we overcome those challenges. Okay, so I don't want to make you all bore specifically, covering only the theory part of the sort of the zero trust principle, but also making you aware of the practical steps which we have taken, and probably you also can take in your organization, and this would really be a very good value addition to you, to your career, to your profile in your organization. It would definitely help you, basically to get promotion, or to get more better job roles in your organization, or probably you could, if you try to jump to any another organization. Okay, so just wanted to give you a highlight that uh, I'm not sure I had put. I just So this is sort of a part of a cyber security. Okay, and the last Tuesday, Economic Times, uh, okay, the Bombay edition news, which specifies that what is the demand of the cybersecurity skills in the Indian industry, and also how much. Give me a second. I'll just. Uh, yeah, India faces a shortage of cybersecurity experts with around 350,000 currently available against the demand of 1 million. Okay. So what is 1 million? 1 million is 10 lakhs. Okay. I have also seen in my organization, in my career, okay, that when I take interviews, there are a lot of people who come for the interview for the cloud skills, for cloud security skills. Having said this, but they do not have those skill sets. Okay. They may have the certification, but when you ask the relevant questions, they are not able to answer those questions. What is the reason? The reason specifically is they do not have that skill which the organization and the industry actually demands. Okay. So if you ask my perspective, I would be really, would like to communicate to you all that take these things very seriously. Try to work on your skills. Okay, certification is really important. Okay, and certification helps you to elevate your career, but only if you work on your skills, you upgrade your skills. Okay, so now let's jump to the presentation. Okay, so what is zero trust? It's world of continuous change. It secures the digital assets over its lifetime anywhere they go. What does it mean securing digital assets over its lifetime? Say, for example, you are working in an organization, okay, and you must be having different assets. Okay, uh, there must be servers, there must be virtual machines, there must be laptops, there must be mobile on which you have given the corporate data access to your employees, like you call it BYOD, bring your own device. Okay, there must be routers, switches, firewalls. All these are digital assets. Okay, over its lifetime is, as soon as a laptop enters your organization, it comes into your, it connects to your network. Okay, till the time, the end time when you scrap that machine. Okay, there is a time after 4 years, 5 years. Okay, you will say that, okay, now this laptop is of no use, we'll scrap it. Now this router is of no use, we'll scrap it. Okay, this is the lifetime. Okay, so entire lifetime of the digital assets, you have to make sure that those assets are secured. Okay, so that comes in the definition of zero trust. Based on the zero assume trust, what is the meaning of zero assume trust is, even if the respective person is working in your organization, okay, you cannot say that, okay, he is working in my organization, so I can give any access to him. Okay, the access has to be only based on the requirement, basis the department and the organization policies and needs. Say suppose a person from the marketing team comes to you. Okay, if you are assuming that if you are managing a file and folder sharing structure, you are responsible to give the access. I'm sure you must be aware, okay, that if suppose marketing team person comes and says that, okay, please give me the access to the research department folder, you will not give it. Why? Because that respective person is not trusted to be given, he is not authorized to be given this access. Okay, so there is something called role based access control, RBAC, which is a use case which I will cover in our subsequent slides. Make informed decisions using data and not assumption. Okay, if you are discussing something, okay, say for example, you are creating a specific folder, and the discussion is going on between different departments. Okay, that who would get the access to this folder. Okay, it should not be based on the assumption. Okay, you need to check the historical data, you need to check with the relevant people. Okay, that who would have the access to this folder. That is called making informed decision using the data, past data. Okay, you have to analyze the past data and make the decision accordingly. So, what were the strategy which we used in our organization? Okay, or anybody could use in their organization to implement zero trust principle. First of all, assess the current security posture. Okay. Uh, when I say security posture, uh, okay, so I would also like to keep this session interactive. So I would like someone from you who could answer that. What is security posture? They can unmute themselves and please answer. Who would like to
Sorry,
take
friend.
this?
This is
Yeah,
Taha
Taha.
Khan.
Hi, Taha. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. I
Alaykum
think
salam.
the continuous security posture is like assessing the, as you said, the policies implemented on the organizational level. Let's say, for example, if the device is corporate owned, if it is a personal laptop,
Hmm.
whether there is some specific tools enabled in the laptop or not. So whether to identify that the particular device is owned by the organization and it sets the benchmark to use the corporate resources deployed over cloud or data center.
Okay,
And whatever
great.
security tools like AV or other components that allows to access those resources.
Okay, great, Taha. Anyone else also would like to take this question or would like to, give their opinion? Do not think that your opinion is correct or it's not correct. Just give your opinion. Nothing is correct. Nothing is, nothing is right. Nothing is wrong. Anybody else would like to take this query?
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Yeah, a device is always with the compliance team. Means always is complaint. Like the DLP is, and the data protections policies are also applicable for that.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
Fayaz.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So yeah, so Taha and Fayaz, has yeah. Someone is speaking. Yeah, please go ahead. Anyone else also would like to contribute? Please do that. Please feel free to do that. Okay. So Taha and Fayaz has rightly mentioned on the posture, but I would like to add on to their points. Basically, is that assessing the current security posture. So, what all tools do you have in place? Okay, for the security, as Taha and Fayaz mentioned. Okay, that do you have your DLP in place? Do you have a encryption software? Do you have a, sort of EDR or a advanced version of antivirus? Do you have firewall in place? Do you have privilege access management in place? So there are many tools, okay, security tools which organizations use based on the requirement and regulatory, needs, internal policies, and their clients' requirements. So I'll also come to those part in subsequent clients. So taking out all those solutions which you are using, okay, so sometimes what happens, okay, that you have the tools in place, but those are not effectively used. Okay, say you have a DLP solution, data leakage prevention solution, or encryption solution. But when you identify, okay, when you scan, say you have 400, 500 machines, when you scan 500 machines, 500 laptops, you identify that encryption software is only installed on 50 of the machines. 450 machines still do not have the encryption software installed, although you have 500 licenses. So this is assessing your security posture. Okay, what all tools you have, what is the uh, extent to which you have implemented those tools. Okay, have you optimized, have you configured all the relevant, what I could say, all the relevant features in those tools which are available, or you have the solution but you have not optimized or you have not implemented all the features. Okay, so you need to assess where do you stand currently. Okay, where do your organization security posture stands currently. Okay, and you make a sort of a small document, okay, that on DLP this is the place where we stand, on encryption this is the place where we stand, on firewall this is the place where we stand. Surprisingly, sometimes organization has a firewall, but they don't use firewall. I mean, all the traffic is going, it's like a default any to any. So it's equivalent to not having a firewall. Okay. So I was having a discussion with one of the organization who works in a different firm. So he was talking about sort of uh, his discussion with someone else, basically, where they were using Microsoft Office 365 and their environment got hacked. And after the forensic was done, it was reported that specific features which had to be used, probably which would have helped the hackers, not to intrude the network, those features were not enabled. So sometimes very basic things, very basic hygiene in your tools and technologies which you use basically are very important. Okay. And I have seen in my experience, I have almost 20 plus years of experience in the IT security industry. Okay. That many of them, fail in optimizing the existing tools which they have basically. Okay. Sometimes it happens that we talk about the new tools we should, introduce in the organization. But when the existing tools are not being optimized, that is also a big risk to the organization basically. Okay. And then once you identify the security posture, where do you stand? And then plan the transition. Okay, so these are the this is the security posture. And now we need to plan that how do we go ahead. Okay, so you make that plan. What is the second strategy? It is using agile methodology and not waterfall. What is waterfall? Waterfall says that, okay, you do one thing at a time, complete one thing, and then you start the second thing. Okay. So say you have different tools. You have DLP tool, you have encryption tool, you have EDR, you have firewall. Okay. So sometimes, organization or the IT team focuses, okay, let's complete first the DLP thing. After we finish all the improvements in the DLP, we'll jump to the firewall or we'll jump to the encryption. No, this is not the correct way. You have to start working parallelly with all the tools and technologies you have. Obviously, it will take some time. It always takes time. Okay, implementing zero trust principle is not a easy thing. It's a complicated thing, but it's possible, very much possible, if have a phased wise strategy. You use agile methodology instead of using a waterfall methodology, and identify. Say you work on something, and then every month you assess. Okay, that last month we were at this stage, we were at 4. Now there were around 100 features which we had to implement. Out of say 100 features you had to implement. Now, at the end of August, you have implemented 50 features. At the end of September, you identify, okay, we have now implemented total 57, 58, or 60 features. So this is the way it is implemented. It could take anything between 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, basis the complexity and basis the number of devices, number of digital assets in your infrastructure and the scope of your infrastructure. Start with smaller initiatives first, which can deliver value fast and give confidence. Don't pick up complex use cases first. Pick up very simple use cases. Okay, in zero trust. If you pick up very smaller use cases and implement that, what are the benefits? One, you would be able to implement it fast, and you would also get a confidence. Okay, we are able to do it. Vis-a-vis, if you take complex use cases first, it could take so much time. Okay. And that would basically you know uh, reduce the confidence level of your management in your ability, in your team's ability. Okay. So against that strategy, start with smaller simple use cases, implement that. Okay. And then gradually move to the more complex use cases. So before moving to the next slide, I need to know if you have any queries till now. Okay. Hope you all are catching up with my explanation. If you think that you are not able to understand, please let me know. I would happy to explain it again. So just Please give me your feedback if I was able to explain the slides till now, or you need any clarification you have not understood. Was I able to explain? You can put it in the chat, or you could, unmute yourself and please feel free to speak. Only two people. What about other people? Okay. So now I'll move to the practical steps, okay, which you could take to implement zero trust in your organization. Okay. One is RBAC, role-based access control with least privileges. Can anyone explain me what is role-based access control with least privileges? Please unmute yourself and
Hi, Kashif. Irfan.
yeah.
Rollback access control is something where you can limit the specific user to perform day-to-day work, what uh, he needs as per his roles and responsibility. So you can put a group membership uh, along with the level of support he's doing. For example, a L2 engineer, L3 engineer, or L4 engineer. So kind of group you can make it and restrict the person to have more access. So it's a method to give a proper access, whatever is in need for the specific
Exactly.
user.
Exactly. Correct. So Irfan has explained in a very good manner that role-based access control is, if you could, what Irfan has used the term need to know basis. Okay. Access has to be only given when it is needed, right? So say a specific application, okay. Say sometimes, a person who only uh, who only needs to know that what is specifically, there are departments, say there is an research department where there is an application. So not all people may have the full access to the application. So in the research team, some of the team member may have a full right into the application, that they can read what has been mentioned in the application. They can also edit. Okay, they can also uh, update the fields in the application. Okay, but some of the research team members, they may not need to edit or update anything in the application, but yes, they may require to see that what has been mentioned or what is updated. So they will be only given read only access. Okay, so that is called read role based access control. What is their role? Okay, also in the application, there may be multiple modules, there may be multiple menus. Okay, you must be working with different applications based on your industry where you must be working. So I work in a BFSI sector, so we have say insider trading application or an order management system application. Now the order management system application has multiple modules. Okay, so not all modules access is also required by all the departments. Say as department A only needs the access to module A department B only needs the access to module B. So department B would be only given the access to module B, and department A would only be given the access to module A. This is called role-based access control with least privileges. Okay. What I explain you least privileges is that मॉड्यूल तक गया वो चीज. ओके, आपको कौन से मॉड्यूल का एक्सेस चाहिए, सिर्फ वही मॉड्यूल का एक्सेस मिलेगा. लीस्ट प्रिविलेज. Second one is MFA with fraud alert. Okay, I'm sure that the participants, you all must be using MFA in your organization. Okay, can someone tell me who is using MFA in their organization? Just if you can unmute yourself and start speaking.
I am.
Yeah, Taha. Okay. So Taha,
Uh,
you must be, yeah. So do you have fraud alert integrated with MFA?
no, it
Okay.
just typically gives me the code on my mobile application.
Okay. So I'll let you know what is fraud alert. Okay. We have, I mean, you can implement MFA along with the fraud alert. What is fraud alert? Normally, what happens with MFA is that whenever you try to access an application or your email or your corporate data, okay, it sometimes it asks you for MFA. This is example, you have changed your password, it will prompt you an MFA in your authenticator app. Now, what if your password is compromised? Okay, say I'll just take Taha's example because Taha has started discussing this use case with me. Taha, what happens is, suppose if your password is compromised, okay? Say I have compromised your password, and I have put your password, okay? So you will get an MFA authenticator alert, right? To just authenticate, correct?
Correct.
Right?
Right.
Now you know that you have not put the password.
Yes.
So there comes the fraud alert. Okay, so there is a section of fraud alert in different, IAM tools. It could be AWS, it could be Microsoft Azure, it could be some other, identity and access management tools which your organization must be using. So the business user has the option of fraud alert that I have not put the password, and this is the fraud MF alert which I have got, and the user can then report it to the IT team, and IT team or the information security team can go back, can validate that, okay, and immediately change the password. There could be two mechanisms. One, this could be a manual option, okay, that after the user reports the fraud alert, IT team can go and change the password and then confirm with the business, the respective user. IT team not only basically changes the password, it also tries to identify the logs that from which IP address this authentication request had come, and probably on the firewall you could take action to block that IP address as well. Okay. And then there could be manual intervention where IT team can help the business user to change the password, or you could also automate it basically, okay, where when the user clicks the fraud alert, automatically all the corporate data access would be stopped to that user. The user will get an access to change the password. Once the user changed the password and again puts the MFA, after that the all the access to the corporate data is resumed basically. There is also app proxy on premises application. Okay, so now you all must be knowing about VPN. Okay, so gradually the VPN thing is now phasing out. Okay, why? Because VPN is a technology where you need to specifically open an inbound port in your to your network. Okay, so who uses VPN in the organization? You can just unmute yourself and start the discussion. I think, see, my purpose of discussing with some of you is basically so that you can understand, okay, that what type of use cases in the industry, people use. Like Taha said that they use MFA in their organization. Now, all the participants in this panel should identify, okay, do you use MFA in your organization while accessing your emails, while accessing your corporate data? If not, then this would be the first use case which you could go and identify that if this feature is available, and then start implementing that. Okay, if you are from the tech team, if you are from the information security team, you have a great chance to implement this basically in the organization. So anybody who uses VPN in their organization? Yeah, Tawfiq.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Yeah, Tawfiq.
Yes, sir. Yeah, my name is Sophie. I'm working in Bahrain actually, and in our organization, we are using the FortiGate firewall, and the
Great.
firewall we open a port for the VPN, and all our users whenever they require, they have to grant for access, and we are providing access for the VPN. So
Okay. So apart from the UTM which you are using, FortiGate UTM, do you
yeah.
also use any sort of identity and access management solution?
No, right now we are not using, but we are creating profiles on the firewall. So with the help of that identity from the firewall, the users are using from the client application, the VPN client application on their laptop and other
Okay.
devices.
Okay. So Taufik, what happens in the zero trust architecture when you say application proxy for the, so Taufik, you are from the tech team, right? I'm sure.
Yes, yeah,
Okay. So you must be giving VPN access to access the different applications or file folders from home or from the remote places, correct?
correct. Yes,
Yeah. So now, the zero trust architecture says you should not give VPN access because you have to open an inbound port to your network, which is again a riskier
correct.
thing where some could intrude using VPN port basically. So what you could do is basically is apply a app proxy, okay, for your on-premises applications or your file and folders, where
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to give the VPN access. It is only one outbound port which is open to your identity and access management. FortiGate also, to the best of my knowledge, has an zero trust network access feature, which probably you have to opt in. It's an optional component which you need to opt separately, which can integrate with your FortiGate UTM or firewall appliance. So what it does is basically say, because you have mentioned about FortiGate, so whatever app proxy solution you use, it could be AWS or it could be Microsoft Azure or it could be FortiGate. What it does is it basically sits in your on-premises infrastructure, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
it actually integrates with your all the applications, okay,
Okay.
and only a outbound port from that specific server is published, okay, from your infrastructure. And your identity access management, through your identity access management, you get the access to the respective application, okay, and the VPN is eliminated in this use case basically. So
Correct,
you are
sir.
reducing
Got
the
your
risk.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, so you are reducing the risk of basically opening the if you see, okay, you all are from the tech team, so you must be aware that there are very, very few ports which is which is open inbound to your infrastructure, okay, from outside. Mostly it's VPN, it's HTTPS, which is for your website, okay, which is port number 443, or very, very less ports which are very, very much necessary. Even in case of HTTPS, you all must be knowing your internet facing resources would be in the demilitarized zone, basically. Okay. Why are you putting in the DMZ zone? The reason is because you have to open an inbound port to your infrastructure, basically, which could risk to your other infrastructure. And that is the reason you put your internet facing resources into the demilitarized zone. Okay, so I'll go to the next use case, real-time alerts. That is any ambiguous user activity, there could be you could take automated action. It is sort of a similar use case of the second one, that is MFA with fraud alert. As soon as user reports a fraud alert, you take a action. Conditional access. What is conditional access? So now all your team members, all your business teams, departments must be using, emails, Outlook, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, etc. Okay. So they must be using when they are in office. They must be also using when they are outside office. Correct? Anybody from this panel who is aware about the email access, who works on the email access they give, or who works on Microsoft Teams administration M365, where you give the access to the business users? Anybody who works in Active Directory, Windows Server, Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, Exchange Online? No one? No one works into Active Directory?
Yes, sir. Again, topic.
Yeah, we work with AD in the Windows team.
Okay. So Abdul, can you explain me a bit more what exactly you do there? I mean, in terms of Active Directory and
We usually manage the group membership,
Mhm.
we grant access to the users.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, we
So
don't provide the access.
you give the access to the users, right? So
Correct.
also the emails.
Mm, Not, we don't have more exposure on the Office 365 and the messaging part.
Okay.
Yes, we don't grant access on the emails.
Okay, no issue. So if say you must be, even though you are not giving access, you must be aware about Microsoft
Correct.
365
That's right. Yes.
administration panel. Okay. So
Yeah.
now, say suppose just give me an example that you see. Sometimes what happens that you're given the access to the corporate emails to your employees. Okay,
Yes.
but they must say what happens that if they log in into the corporate email using their personal laptop, using their home laptop. Okay,
Yes.
that could, what risk does it have?
It has the exposure of
Your confidential
corporate
data,
confidential
correct?
data.
Corporate
Yes.
data, right?
Yes.
So conditional access is something where you bind your device, okay, you bind your corporate data access to your domain joined device only. Okay. Say if I go to my personal laptop and try to open my corporate email, I would not be able to access it. Okay. It will just give me, even if I have the username password, it will just a second, it is okay. Even if I give username password, okay, it will reject my access request, giving me a reason that you are not accessing the data from the approved corporate device. That is conditional access.
Yes. Understood.
Okay. Say if your team member is accessing a email application on mobile, but still that would be, my mobile device management or
Correct.
mobile application management. Okay, where there is a separate container, secured virtual container, which is made, which is created into your mobile.
Yes.
Okay, in your Android or an iPhone,
Yes.
you
Work local.
cannot you cannot do anything, from your corporate profile to your personal profile, and vis-a-vis from your personal profile to your corporate profile. You cannot transfer anything. You cannot copy paste anything. Okay.
Yes.
So that is conditional access. Then comes DLP, okay, data leakage prevention access. Okay. So like
Kashif,
right, yeah,
on the
yeah, Irfan.
conditional access, uh, the person can have an email access on the office laptop as well as mobile, which is
Hmm.
associated link
Yes,
as a trusted device. But what if he's using OA or the webmail, which
Ovana.
he can open on any? Yeah.
Yeah. So good question.
So
So Irfan, are you working
how,
on M365?
how- no, I'm the user. I'm not.
Okay, you are the user. Okay. So the
I have a
conditional access.
config.
Okay. So the Irfan, the conditional access principle also applies on the OA as well. Okay. So you can define that OA could be the part of the conditional access, that it could only be accessed from the corporate device and not from the personal devices. That is possible to do.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. What is DLP, data leakage prevention policy? Now, the best example I am giving you here in the Zoom. Okay. Say if I have a corporate laptop, I am using Zoom. Okay. I don't have the access to copy paste anything from my, Word file to the Zoom chat, or I cannot transfer any file and folder in the Zoom. Or say I am accessing a specific website, okay, where there is an option that you upload your file or a folder. Basically, I would not be able to upload a file or folder. If I try, I'll be rejected. If I am sending an email to someone, okay, so if the policy defines that that email contains, say, a PAN card or a specific, whatever the company policy is there, whatever is sensitive and confidential to the organization, basically it could have two type of policies in DLP. One, if a employee sends an email with specific those details, either you reject that email, you will not be allowed to send the email, or you allow to send the email, but it has to be immediately, it will be reported to the IT team, to the IT security team, and the respective head of the department. okay, that your department member has sent this specific detail email to this specific email address, recipient of the email address, basically. Okay, so this is sort of, a DLP. So what risk does it mitigate? Risky data transfer in real time, reduce the breach risk, improve regulatory compliance. We'll go to the next use cases. Network level microsegmentation. Okay, so this is to reduce the attack surface in the network level. So say you have a firewall, and in firewall you have different zones. Okay, so whoever works in the firewall, I think it was Irfan had said that they have a FortiGate firewall, if I'm remember. Okay, so you must be having different zones created into it, different segmentations, different networks, or different subnets. Okay, so for example, I'll just give you that an application. Okay, all the application servers are in a different zone, all the active directory servers are in a different zone, all the UAT servers are in a different zone. There must be some of the virtual machines for which you give the access to the vendors. Okay, they take the remote access via VPN. There is a different network altogether for that, basically. For all your identity and access management, say your active directory servers, okay, is in a different zone. All your database servers are in a different zone. Okay, so if the application wants to communicate with the respective its database, there will be only respective ports will be open, required ports will be open between the application and the database. Because application cannot work without database. Application has to integrate with the database. Say application A and database A. Database A is stored into it is this database A is in a different server, which is in a different zone. Okay, and the application is in a different server in a different zone. So only required ports, only required virtual interaction would be enabled between those servers. Okay, to give the access. Why it is so? Can anyone tell me what? How does it help us? I think Irfan would be the best person who works on the firewall. Was it Irfan?
No, sir, it's not me. It was
Who said he works on FortiGate firewall? I forgot his name.
Yeah, hi sir,
Tawfiq.
Tawfiq. I
Yeah,
was
Tawfiq.
I was working. So
Yeah,
the option for limited port opening it just to secure the network for unauthorized accesses or the random access from the hackers or other parties. So if we the less port will open, the low like the more secure the network will be.
exactly. So Tawfiq rightly said. Okay, so Tawfiq, do you have these types of zones created in your infrastructure? Network
No, sir.
segmentation?
Right now we don't have zones. We have different sites, but all are like coming on the same. Whatever you explain, the different zone we don't implement yet. But
Okay.
I will think on that.
Okay, so I'll just tell you that what is the risk if you keep it all in the one zone. If you keep everything in the one network, okay, by default, all the ports would be open to all those. So database server would be able to communicate with the application server, and all the ports would be open because those are in the same network, basically. Okay,
Correct, sir.
right? Okay, so
Yeah.
say God forbid your application server is compromised. Some hackers intrudes and he has now successfully taken the access of your application server. If you have everything in one network, then all your database server, your active directory server, your UAT infrastructure, everything is then exposed to the hacker. He has very easy way to take the access to all the infrastructure. That is the reason that you have a micro network segmentation, basically. Okay,
Correct,
so
sir. Noted. Thank you. Yeah.
it's very important. Yeah. Uh, Web content filtering, I am sure that you must be knowing this. This is a very old technology, but still a very relevant technology where, say, you do not give access to all the social media sites to anyone in your organization. Okay. You have 5,000 people in the organization. Does everybody has the access to YouTube, to LinkedIn, to Facebook, to Instagram? I don't think so. You will only give access to the social media sites to only relevant people, say in the marketing team or to the CEO. So out of 1,000, maybe around 10, 15, 20 people may be having the access to the social media sites. So that is web content filtering, that what all websites you want to allow to the respective department. It's not only to the departments. Okay. Sometimes you know that, uh, I mean, all of you where, the where you work, there must be auditors who must be coming for the audit, and you give the access to, auditor requires relevant data basically. So you may be giving VPN access or access to the corporate data to the auditor. Okay. If you are giving a, say, a machine, a laptop to the auditor, you may not want to give all the website access to the auditor. You can ask auditor, what all things are you going to check? What all websites you want the access? We'll only limit the access of those websites to you. We'll not be able to give everything to you basically. Okay. Visibility of cloud apps and its risk score. Now, as an administrator, okay, you know that there are n number of cloud applications. Okay. So you do not know that the user in your organization, uh, वो कोई भी जगह पे जाएगा, there are hundreds and thousands of small cloud applications. Okay, you cannot block everything. So how do you get the visibility of that basic? Okay, so there is a panel if you use those sort of applications. Okay, the identity and access management applications. Okay, you will get the visibility. Okay, that these users are accessing these type of cloud applications, and then you could, from the backend, you could decide, okay, these applications are not of the business requirement, then you can reject access to those applications. EDR, it's extended detection and response. So EDR is something which is an advanced version of antivirus. Okay, anybody using EDR in your organization who works with the EDR solution or is aware about the EDR solution?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Sir, I am working on the idea. I am very beginner of this field, but
Oh,
in my organization we use the Secorite EDR.
okay,
So I have some in this project. Now we are in the development phase. So
okay.
now we can build basic rules and regulations for the particular zone. Actually, I'm working on a government project. That's reason we specify some rules for the zonal office, and
Hmm.
we specify some rules under the divisional office. That's all, sir.
Great, great. So, Sheikh Rohan, thank you so much. Yeah. So, one principle when you are working in any of the, any of the organization, and uh, you know, uh, with due respect to everyone, okay, do not reveal what solution you use. Basically, okay. Uh, it you can just say that we are using EDR. We have implemented these type of use cases. Okay, you see, I have in my presentations I have never revealed that what solution we use. I am just trying to highlight the use case which I am trying to explain you. Anywhere you go, do not reveal the tools. You can you can give the name of the tools. Okay, I mean, in the sense, you use EDR tool or you use DLP tool basically. Okay, but do not give the name of the OEM. So that should be a principle which you should always I mean, apply. Okay, so uh, EDR is extended detection and response. Okay, it's an advanced version of antivirus. If any one of you are in your organization uses the traditional antivirus, you are prone to a greater risk. Okay, traditional antivirus does not mean anything now, because traditional antivirus works on the predefined definitions which they have. Okay, it does not um, attempt to block the real-time threats, a zero-day attack. Okay, anyone is aware about what is zero-day attack? Please tell me, what is zero-day attack?
So there is no hash value for the or
Exactly,
signature.
exactly, exactly. So zero-day attack is something where the OEM still does not have the hash value. If I try to explain in the in a layman language, they still do not have the solution to basically to eliminate that risk. That risk is still open. So your EDR solution also tries to identify a zero-day attack. It has a separate panel where it says that, okay, this is the zero-day attack which has been observed in your infrastructure, or even if it is not observed, this has been detected in the other organizations. Okay. EDR also gives you an idea and visibility, okay, if the zero-day attack or a specific malware attack which has been observed with the other organization. It has the entire set of principles, entire set of directory with it, that these are the set of issues which has been observed by different organizations. Okay. And these are the steps you could take till the time the OEM has a specific solution. So whenever there is a zero-day attack, sort of those available, okay, you are vulnerable, your infrastructure is say vulnerable to zero-day attack, although you must not have observed any attack in your infrastructure, but still you have to be careful and you need to take uh, uh, you know uh, quite a few compensatory measures so that you could reduce the risk of uh, you know to the vulnerability of that zero-day attack. Continuous monitoring of security posture. Okay, on the EDR thing, I'll give you one more example. Okay, that assume that someone has put a USB drive and uploaded a file into a machine, and that machine has the EDR solution. As soon as that file is uploaded, okay, EDR actually identifies if there is any malware, any virus sitting into it. If that virus is sitting into it, it actually takes automatic action, okay, and deletes that file. Normal antivirus is not able to do that. Okay. EDR is must now. Okay. If any one of you in your organization are using the traditional antivirus, see that if it has an EDR feature into it, implement it. If not, it has to be a top priority to change your traditional antivirus to a EDR solution. If anyone wants to know more on the EDR, what all sort of different solutions are available in the market, uh, you can please contact me. I would be able to help you out with those details. I would be able to guide you basically. Continuous monitoring of the security posture. Okay. So there are different tools which are available, which actually monitors the security posture. I had explained to you, okay, in the earlier slide that security posture is where do you stand. Okay. So say you have different tools. Okay. You have DLP tool, you have antivirus tool, you have encryption tool, you have privilege identity management, you have PAM, you have VPN, you have app proxy. But to the what extent you have optimized, okay, and where do you stand is something which comes into continuous monitoring of security posture. So it gives you a scoring system, okay, that okay, out of 100, you are at say 75, you are at 45. And it also gives you a benchmarking basis your industry. Say you are working in an automobile industry or a manufacturing industry, okay, or say petrochemical industry. It tells you that your score out of 100, posture score, security posture is 50, and the benchmarking score, okay, like your organizations, okay, who are other organizations which are in the petrochemical industry, which are in the manufacturing, which are in the automobile, their benchmarking, say average benchmarking is 65. So when you are at 50 and the average benchmarking is 65, it means that you are lagging there and you need to immediately target how do you reach to 65. Sometimes if the organization is matured, okay, or yes, say you gradually mature, maybe 2 years, 1.5, 2 years down the line, you could reach anywhere between 75 and 80. Going beyond 80 is possible, but it takes time, it takes a lot of efforts to do it basically. Even to reach 75, it takes lot of time and lot of efforts. Okay. Say example, for reaching from 50 to 65, say you take around 3 to 4 months. But from reaching 60 to 75, you could take anything between 9 months to 1 year, at least. Okay, the security posture monitoring also gives you a list. Okay, okay, that in DLP you are not using this feature, so please use this. Say in a EDR or in encryption, this much machines are encrypted, this much are not encrypted, so please encrypt those machines. it gives you real time score. Okay. And as soon as you do some changes, okay, as soon as you do some changes, the score changes immediately in a span of 24 hours. I'll give you a best example. Who is here who works in the patching? Okay, on month, Microsoft comes up with the second Tuesday of every month, the patches are released. Okay, and you have to patch it. Anybody who works on the patching solutions? No one. Okay, you must be aware about the patchings, right? Month on month.
Right.
I worked
Every
before.
Tuesday, Microsoft releases a patch.
Yeah. Okay. So Microsoft released the patches. Okay, those are security patches. Okay, which are critical to implement. So as soon as the patches comes in, say your secure score is 75, example, as soon as the patches are released from Microsoft, and your security posture solution identifies it in next 24 hours, और आपका score सीधा आ जाएगा say 64 65 पे, based on whatever number of servers you have basically. Okay, and when you go and identify the reason that why the score has come down, it says that the security patches has been released. Once you implement all the patches in all the servers, your score will again go up. Okay. uh, we do not have so much time, so I'll just skip some of the use cases. So 14th use case, automated CIS configuration review for OS, network, and databases. So anybody who is aware about CIS? CIS? Who works on Windows Server administration? Anyone who works on Active Directory Windows Server administration?
Yes, Ashwin.
Sorry, Abdul, right? So
Yes.
Abdul, do you also work on the hardening of the Windows servers?
Yes, on the newly deployed servers.
Okay, so what do you do in the hardening part?
We apply the group policies, the set of group policies on the servers.
Okay,
So they
so are
move
you
it.
aware about the CIS benchmarking?
Not deeply.
Okay, give me a second. Sorry. Okay, you're able to see the screen now?
Yes.
What do you see? Do you see the CIS benchmark list?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Looks like a
CIS,
checklist.
so CIS benchmarking is something which actually any of your digital assets, okay, sort of your servers, your network devices, your firewall, okay, it CIS is basically a sort of US based NGO. It identifies the configuration of your respective devices and gives you best practices that these has to be configured, and also gives you a steps to do a configuration. Okay, say a Windows Server 2019 or Windows Server 2022, or a FortiGate firewall, or a SonicWall firewall, or a Palo Alto firewall, a UTM. It gives you a detailed document, okay, say of around 40, 50, 100, 200 pages. It says that these are the hardening which you should do, along with the steps, okay, to configure how you could do it basically. Okay, so that is something called, which is benchmarking. And you could probably, as Abdul identified, as Abdul pointed out, that you could then apply all those with the group policies. Okay. So in the financial firm, when the auditor comes, or this is one of the point which they check. Okay, that do you have a CIS benchmarking controlled operating system? Have you applied all those CIS benchmarking pointers in organization? It scans. There are tools which could scan your hardening of the operating system of the network devices of the database, basis the CIS benchmarking, and then it gives you a report that say out of 300 recommendations, you have done 220, and 80 you still have to do it basically. So there are tools which are automated tools which identifies your infrastructure and which gives you recommendations that these are the number of configurations in the Windows Server 2016, 2019, 2022, or say in the FortiGate firewall, in SonicWall firewall, in Palo Alto, which there are still points of improvement which you need to do. It gives you score, where do you stand, and it also gives you that what things are pending to do. And once you do it in 24 hours, the status is updated there.
This is same as security baseline.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Security baseline, yes, you can consider it. Okay, so I'll go to the next slide. Okay, so 16, using Key Vault, CMK, BYOK, HSM. So anybody in this panel who uses cloud, works on cloud administration? Any cloud, AWS, GCP, Azure, Oracle? No one? Okay, so when you are on cloud, okay, what is the biggest risk with the cloud? Can anyone tell me? When you go to cloud, what is the risk?
Cyber attack, data hack.
Okay, yes, those things are obviously you are correct. But what is the simple definition of cloud? Cloud is nothing but someone else's computer which you are using. Correct? You don't have your own infrastructure. There is someone else's infrastructure which you are using. That is cloud. When you are using someone else's infrastructure, okay, so you have to be cautious that your data is being uploaded there, your applications, your database, your data is there. How do you make that your data is secured? Okay. So there are different ways you could secure your data on cloud, okay, using the encryption basically. Okay, so there is a default encryption which is available by all the by this is default thing. Okay, whenever you create any resource on the cloud, okay, it could be storage, it could be container, it could be virtual machine, it could be application server, database server, whatever. By default, uh, there is an encryption which is done. This is a default thing. Okay, you don't need to do anything. But this encryption which is done by the cloud service provider, say Azure or AWS or GCP. And the visibility of the encryption keys is not with you. It is with the cloud service provider. What if you want the visibility? What if you want the control of your keys? Okay. So now it depends on the your organization's objective. Okay. Even the cloud service provider has their own key. They have the security. They give the documentation, okay, that how secure they are basically. They do not access the customer's data. But still, you do not have a confidence. Still, you say, no, uh, we are still, hesitated to go to cloud basically. We want some alternate mechanism. So there are some mechanism. One is BYOK, that bring your own key. Okay. So what you do basically, that you get your own encryption solution, okay, and install it on that server basically. So you have your own encryption, say Broadcom or maybe Bit Bit Defender or whatever encryption other solutions are available in the market. Okay, or Thales. Okay, Thales is one of the best encryption solution in the market and which is the costliest solution in the globe. Okay, so
You could do that. Or what you could do that basically, now this, anything which you bring, when you bring your own key, you must have heard that term, bring your own device. So in encryption, there is something called bring your own key. So when you are using someone else's computer, that is when you are on cloud, you say that no, I don't rely on the cloud service provider's encryption mechanism. I want my own encryption mechanism. I want to have my own key. Then you have to build that solution. You have to buy that solution. There is a cost to it, basically. Everything has its own cost. What is CMK? Customer managed key. So customer managed key is again, it's sort of a cost optimized solution. BYOK and HSM are very, very costlier solution. Okay. HSM will you cost you anything around 25 to 30 lakh a year minimum. Okay. HSM is the costliest and the most secured way to store your key, your encryption key. But now it depends on the cost, that do you really want to incur that cost? Does organization accept that cost? If not, what is the optimized solution you could use? So customer managed key is something which is sort of between the cloud service providers managing the key and the HSM. Okay, it's a balanced solution. Okay, what customer managed key does is, here still the key is generated by the cloud service provider, but the control and the visibility of keys with you as a customer. Okay, say in the original scenario, if you are on AWS, AWS manages the key. आपको पता भी नहीं होगा कि की क्या है उसका, वही की रोटेट करता है, आपको नहीं मालूम की रोटेट कब होता है. ओके, यू डू नॉट नो एनीथिंग अबाउट दैट. विजा विस कस्टमर मैनेज की में क्या होता है, वो की रोटेट, तो की जो है वो की इज जनरेटेड बाय द सॉरी बाय द क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर, बट वो मैकेनिज्म जो है ना, उसका साइक्लिंग मैकेनिज्म आपके पास रहेगा. ओके, सो यू डिसाइड कि की कितने टाइम में रोटेट होना चाहिए. ओके, you can integrate your antivirus and EDR solution with your key vault. Okay, इसमें key vault use होता है, that अगर suppose there is an any sort of anybody is trying to intrude your key, or there is your key is compromised, so you get a specific alert. Okay, so those all things are available into customer managed key basically. Okay, you can decide, okay, so I want to have a different key for say UAT के लिए मैं different key use करूंगा, application servers के लिए I'll use a different key, and say for the database server I use a different key. और सबके लिए अलग अलग मैकेनिज्म होगा रोटेशन का. से डेटाबेस सर्वर का की एवरी 90 डेज रोटेट होगा, एप्लीकेशन सर्वर का की से 180 डेज में रोटेट होगा, और यूएटी जो डिवाइसेस है, those key would be rotated say in a yearly manner basically. Okay, and you have the visibility to key. आप वो की को बैकअप कर सकते हो, उसको डाउनलोड कर सकते हो उसको basically. Okay, so these are the mechanism to protect your encryption keys, so that you have sort of a confidence that okay, even though my data is on cloud, still I have some control over the encryption mechanism of the my data basically. Resource lock on cloud. What is resource lock? Say example में दे रहा हूँ कि आप, you are having you are an administrator, or someone in your team goes and deletes the production server. So there is a very critical application server which is being used by 1,000 people in an organization. Some administrator goes there and he deletes the virtual machine. What will happen? Disaster, right? Agree or no?
Yeah. Over and out.
Okay. So on cloud, you have a mechanism where you could have a policy which is applied across all the cloud resources, one policy which will apply, where you say that these are the resources which cannot be deleted. Even the administrator, even the privileged administrator cannot delete it, because it has been driven by the policy. Unless and until you don't change the policy, you don't edit the policy, even the enterprise administrator cannot delete this virtual machine on the cloud.
Okay. So in cloud, I'm sure that you must be now aware about the data privacy law, which is coming DPDPA in India. Okay. So one of the key thing in that is that all the data on which the organization is working has to reside in India. So now when you work on cloud, okay, so say Microsoft Azure, GCP, AWS, all these have their locations of across the globe, their data centers across the globe. So when you create a resource, you have an option. Okay, you want to create resource in US. In US, you want to create in US East, US West. You want to create resources in Middle East, in Dubai, in Singapore, in Africa. But because the organization where you work, the resources has to be by default created in India only. So again, you could enforce a policy here that whenever an administrator creates a virtual machine, if he selects the resource of any of the India city, he'll be able to create the resources, else he will not be allowed to create the resource. You know about the phishing campaign, WAF and DDoS mitigation. Okay. Web application firewall, DDoS. Anybody aware about the WAF, DDoS?
Yes.
Taha, can you just brief on that?
So basically, your web application firewalls are meant to protect your applications which are internet facing. So
Exactly.
it prevents some sort of lot of cybersecurity attacks like SQL injection for scripting
Correct.
uh,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
other stuff.
Yes, absolutely. DDoS mitigation. What is DDoS? DDoS is distributed denial of service attack. Okay.
Flood
Uh,
of requests, I think.
Flood of attacks. Exactly. Okay. So say example, 1,000 bots are automatically trying to access your website, your organization's website. What will happen? It will flood the request, multiple requests on your website. Because of that, the genuine users will not be able to use your website. So these are some of the practical steps you could take to implement the zero trust. uh, for the interest of time, or फिर नमाज का time भी हो रहा है, तो हम लोग just I'll just brief you for other thing. What are the key benefits of implementing the zero trust? Stronger security, support for remote and hybrid work, lower risk, increased productivity, operational efficiency, integrated security across on-premises and cloud. So this is the sort of last slides challenges. Configuration complexities आएगी. एक सबसे बड़ा जो चैलेंज यू विल फेस ना, आई मीन जो लोग ओईएम्स के साथ काम करते हैं उनको पता होगा कि इतनी सारी टेक्नोलॉजीज आ गई है ना, कि बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि व्हेन यू अप्रोच द ओईएम फॉर सपोर्ट, इट मे बी माइक्रोसॉफ्ट, एडब्ल्यूएस, FortiGate, Palo Alto, they take too much time to respond. Okay, they do not give you a resolution time, they will just give you a response time. Too many references on OEM platforms, प्रोजेक्ट शेड्यूल्स आर ruined. ओके, आपने सपोज प्लान किया होगा, मैं ये जीरो ट्रस्ट का जो है ना ये वाला प्लान में आई इंप्लीमेंट इट इन 2 months, इट गोज टू 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Continuous follow up. How to overcome the challenges? Thorough testing for a longer period of time. Give a safer schedule to your management. If you think that, okay, based on discussion, if you think that you will be implementing some specific zero trust phase in say 2 months, give the timeline of 3 to 4 months. Don't give of 2 months. रोल आउट विथ 1 or 2 members. ओके, जब भी कोई नया फीचर रोल आउट करते हो ना आप जीरो ट्रस्ट में, रोल आउट फर्स्ट विथ द आईटी टीम, दैट ऑल्सो फॉर 2, 3, 4 members. Test it thoroughly. After you rolled out, test it for 15 days, 20 days, 25 days. Technology team members has to skill up themselves. Do not rely only on OEM. मेरा कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा, मैं सपोर्ट में बात करूंगा, मेरा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएगा, नहीं. That has become very difficult now, which I have experienced in my last 5 years, using the cloud technology and transition to new technologies. Use agile methodology. मल्टीपल चीजें करो एक साथ में, ताकि एक जगह पे प्रॉब्लम आएगा तो आप दूसरी जगह कम से कम आपका काम शुरू रहेगा. जीरो ट्रस्ट इज अ कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस विजा विज अ प्रोजेक्ट. वो ऐसा नहीं कि वन टाइम आपने कर दिया, 1 महीने 2 महीने में खत्म हो गया. नो, ये जर्नी इज नेवर एंडिंग. इट्स ओनली दैट यू आर प्रोग्रेसिंग एंड रिड्यूसिंग द रिस्क. ट्रेनिंग टीम मेंबर्स. ओके, आपको खुद को ट्रेन करना पड़ेगा. इफ यू डोंट ट्रेन योरसेल्फ, यू आर आउट ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री. दैट्स इट फ्रॉम माय साइड. लास्ट बट नॉट लीस्ट, uh, I'll just share one documentation जहां से आप learn कर सकते हैं. Okay, so you are able to see this screen of learn.microsoft.com, zero trust deployment for technology pillars. Okay, so I did not carry this part because of the interest of time. That zero trust has these pillars: identity, endpoint, data, application, infrastructure, and network. There was one question, okay, that what is not the part of the pillar? It was firewall. Okay, because firewall is the overall part of the network. Okay, so firewall is an individual part which comes under the network pillar of the zero trust principle. So you could learn here. These are the documentation set. These are the recommendation training. Establish the guiding principles and core components of zero trust. Okay, so this gives you a beginner level learning. Okay, so if anyone is new to zero trust, you could start from here. Yeah, that's it from my side. Uh, any questions? Happy to take that. I hope I was able to, uh, you know, uh, set your expectations right and was able to deliver according to that.
Yes, it was a very informative and learning session. Thank you.
Thank you, Irfan. Any more questions? Anything you want to contribute to it?
Kashif sir, one question. Like
Yes.
this new age vendors are coming up with consolidation and platformization. How do we incorporate all the use cases which you have listed out? Because a lot of use cases are not, it is integrable, not provided by a single platform. How do we do it? Any lights or
Good question.
on that?
Good question. Taha, so any organization, see, one thing is very much sure that one solution would not be able to cater everything in the organization. Okay. But yeah, if you see, uh, like, there are solutions which tries to cater many of the things, but it still depends on the organization and the information technology, information security team, their budgets, their complexity of the infrastructure. Do they want to use the one solution which can take cater of most of the things here? Okay, it is possible. There are solutions which could do it. Okay, but there are organizations where they do not take that approach. Okay, they say no, we do not want to do that. We want to have different solutions for different requirements, basically. Okay, so say for DLP, you could have different solution. For identity and access management, you could have different solution. For privilege access management, you could have different solution. But these use cases could be implemented in any of the solution you use. More or less, this is possible. So Taha, you have to identify that, what all. First of all, make the list of the security solutions which are being used in your organization. Okay, say what DLP you are using, what encryption you are using, what EDR you are using. Okay, what encryption mechanism solution you are using, what privilege access management you are using. Okay, are you there on cloud or you are not on cloud? If you are on cloud, what all cloud security solutions which you are using, basically. Okay, so first of all, you have to make a list of all the solutions which you have as a part of identifying the security posture. Have I answered your question?
Uh, yeah, partly. I was just asking, like, new age
Hmm.
solutions are only restricted to 4 or 5 technologies, like Swig, CASB, Firewall as a Service, and ZTNA as a framework. But uh, it helps to like partially answers my question.
So what I understood is that, Taha, that if we want to implement all the use cases, how do you do that, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. So Taha, to answer it, I would answer it in two ways. One is whatever use cases I have covered are very limited use cases. Okay. There are hundreds of use cases in zero trust. Okay. These are very few use cases which I have covered, although these are many. to start with. Okay. It depends on the budget of your organization, how much budget your organization is ready to spend on the information security controls, basically, because there are organizations which sometimes may be willing to spend on information security, may not willing to spend. However, they should spend, have a specific, uh, in fact, in the BFSI section, okay, the SEBI and RBI mandates that there has to be specific percentage, at least 15 to 20% of your technology budget should be of the information security and the controls on the information security, basically. Okay, so it depends on the sort of budget you have, basically, and a strategy which the organization maybe want to use, that they want to combine everything in the one solution. So if I tell you that out of the around 20, 25 use cases which I covered, I can say that around 70 to 80% could be catered by through one solution. Okay, 20% probably are scattered between different solutions like DLP or a privilege access management. Those are sort of different other solutions which are being optimized, basically. Okay, so it actually depends on the budget what you have, and on the strategy which your team may want to use. Sometimes some organizations say that if you have one vendor providing everything, it's a risk. If that vendor falters, if there is a CrowdStrike, right? What happened with CrowdStrike a year ago? The EDR solution,
Yes,
yeah,
PSF.
the blue screen. Okay, so many of the airports and many of the companies who were using that EDR were out of operation for a couple of hours, basically. Okay, so now people are thinking that should we use one EDR for all the machines? Now there are discussions going on specifically in the BFSI sector that we should use two EDRs. Okay, one EDR for specific application specific servers and another EDR for specific application specific servers, so that in case of a issue with the one EDR, at least you have some partial operations going on, basically. So I mean, it depends on the strategy, on the issues which comes out, on the budgeting part. So there are many factors which would influence on uh, how you would like to cater these use cases, basically. So this is my number. I'm available on call and WhatsApp. You could anytime reach out to me in case of you need any clarity, any guidance, anything which you want from my side. I would be happy to help you out with whatever knowledge I have.
Okay, so now with this answer, we conclude our session. So thank you, Kashif sir. May Allah reward you for giving us your time and all
Thank
your
you.
efforts
Jazakallah.
towards educating us. It was a really insightful session. I hope you all find this session very informative and productive. So also, just a thing before leaving the session, when you end the meeting, there will be a feedback form will be displayed. So please don't forget to fill the feedback form. It will help us to gain upcome with a much more beneficial session like this one. So yeah, thank you everyone. Jazakallah khair for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Yeah, Subhanallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. So yeah. So we will end our session for today. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day, everyone. Allah
Thank you.
Hafiz. Yeah.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.